Hi guys, my name's Andrew Ogilvie and welcome back to the channel. We're going to be working on the A45 today and I'm going to walk over to my bench because we've had a wee delivery. So the Corsa video is getting made. That's the next thing I'm actually going to go on to, but this one will be first because it's actually a wee easy one if I spin the camera around. You can see here I have the factory front canards and it's the last piece of the puzzle to the canard kit. Excuse this universal I don't know, what's it called, like a universal splitter. I think I'll maybe put that in the Corsa. Let us know what you think. It's just sitting there doing nothing. I think that's probably the best place to put it, but we've got this here, we've got the hardware sitting for it, and this was actually pretty cheap, so we'll be able to put that on and that will finish the kit. So the things you're going to need obviously the kit, the hardware. Is it Phillips? Yep, it's Phillips screws, Phillips screwdriver, so it'll be that and a masking tape. And I'll show you how to work out the measurements in this video. So let's crack on with it. So it's going to be really hard to get me in the shot as well, but this is going to be sitting along here, something along the lines of this here, like that. And then we have the smaller one which sits somewhere up here. Now I'm going to show you how to work out the calculations for those. And I've got my measuring tape over, which so we can get it accurate on this side and then go over to the other. But first step is masking up. Now I've got this masking tape, it's just some cheap masking tape. It might not actually be this. I think this masking tape's done. You know that sometimes you get masking tape and it just doesn't mask anymore. I think this is what's happened with this one. I'll go and grab a fresh masking tape and I'll be masking up this whole section because we'll need to make some marks and reference points so that we can get these perfect.
Try to let go of all of the nonsense that you put me through. I give it all to you. I do it all for you. Maybe this feeling's overdue. You're uninvited. You wanna hold me close.
For this, we're going to be using a pen, and we're just going to mark round about the edge. And this will be a wee bit more apparent later on. For when we peel this masking tape off and take it round the other side, we'll know roughly where we have our holes. Now for this here, I have looked at a couple of Google images in terms of where these sit, and it's going to be somewhere round about there. I'm going to go and have a wee look on the Google images just to make sure I get my reference points all correct, and then we will start taking some measurements using the measuring tape. Measuring from like this crease here in the bumper where it starts to fold under, and we'll measure from here out. As well as down for this part here, and we'll make sure we get this one 100% before we start tackling on the other side. Also we'll get this one afterwards, which will sit roughly, I think they sit roughly there. But like I said, Google Images is going to be my friend here because there's no actual measurements for this. It's all going to be done with eyeball, but when I say eyeball, I need to make sure I get it looking perfect, as well as then getting it perfect and matching on the other side, because there'd be nothing worse to take a step back and it's not level or not the same. That's why we're putting these reference marks in on this masking tape. So when I peel it off, take it around the other side. Yes, the sticky side will be in front of mine, but I'll have these reference lines marked in, and then that gives me roughly, like if it was, let's say it was to be sitting somewhere around about there, I'll just make a mark across there, and then when I go across, flip it round the other way, I'll see through the masking tape, hold it up. There's no any way to sort of describe how easy this is going to be. I'll just need to get on with it and just show you. Right, so after a quick Google Maps, I keep saying it's Google Maps, it's not, it's Google Images. I've came across a perfect way to line this up. Now, you've got the crease of this bumper here, and that should actually be sitting somewhere in line with this crease here. And just as the bend happens, just as the curvature of this face, the curvature of that face actually starts right at the corner point here. So I've got a perfect line there. It's absolutely perfect. I've made my line here, and as you can see, the line sort of follows the curvature of the bumper, which this then slots into perfectly, so it all makes sense. I've got my marks on my masking tape. Next thing is just to install it, uninstall it, I'll have my holes, I can take it round to the other side and make sure I get it all perfect again.
You're mine, mine, mine. It's right. It's right now. Why are you hiding? Tell me, what must I do? Come to you, come to you. You're mine, mine, mine. It's right. you put me through. I give it up to you. I do it all for you. Maybe this feeling's overdue. You're uninvited. You wanna hold me close, but I know what you have to. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Why are you hiding? Tell me, what must I do? Come to you, come to you. You're mine, mine, mine. It's right, right, right. It's right, 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 right now. Why are you hiding? Tell me, what must I do? Come to you, come to you.
This is now installed, it is solid, that is on there. And I've just added a couple of little bracing bits of tape up the way. Next up is going to be this one here. The only reason I've added this little bracing tape right on the tip is when we transfer it over, I'll know where it starts in terms of the length this way, as well as the curvature around this piece. If I can actually keep that stuck down. I'll be definitely taking it off, take my time to take it off, because that is now our template. Like I says, we're going to be installing this wee part now. Obviously, it sit at an angle roughly around about there somewhere. So I'll do a wee bit more Google searching and get a definite position where this sits, and bring you back and I'll tell you the measurements in between them. So I've made some marks here. If I crouch down, I can show you. So you can see I've made this sort of like L shape here. Now, going off of Google Maps, we've got the line of this bumper line here. Obviously, it then curves down, but the canard at the very top point sits in line. So I have made a mark in line, which is here. That sits also further back than this. It sits roughly, going off of Google Maps and using like a wee bit of scaling, it goes about 10 centimetres back the way. So I've come out 10 and projected a line up, which has left us to this corner. So in terms of the corner, we're sitting roughly like that, if I can get my arm out the way. And then looking at Google Maps, and you, I keep saying Google Maps, Google Images, Google Images, this piece here is 6 inches roughly, give or take. So right in the centre, which is this mark here, is roughly about 3 inches. Like I said, I've just done a quick measurement with my measuring tape and got exactly halfway, which is this line here. So if we put that to that corner and then we project this line across, we will then know where the tip of this point is and the tip of this point is. So there we go. That's exactly how it sits, like that. I can get my arm out the way. That's exactly how it sits. You can sort of see it does sit back slightly if you have a look yourself on images, as well as it sits, the lowest point sits halfway along and the highest point sits perfectly in line with this body line. Like, if you can imagine this body line was projected round, that's how I'm going to do it. And that means it's good reference points for then carrying it over to the other side. Now, there's not been a perfect website that's sort of described where specifically this should all go. So hopefully my guide is going to help you figure it out yourself. And it's a way to keep it accurate at both sides, because, like I say, there's nothing worse than when you take a step back and it just doesn't match. That would be my worst nightmare. So let's crack on with it. I'll get this wee bit installed, uninstalled, peel the masking tape off, and I'll redo it out the other side. And they'll both be even.
Change what I've been trying to say. Words don't come straight from my head to my mouth. It's such a shame that it fell out of place. Was never me that was bringing you down.
Right, so now that I have that installed, I've just went a wee touch above that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a mark just so it's definitely even on the other side. I've just went a wee, just like a millimetre above my line that I made there, and then I can now start doing things like this, making a mark exactly where it sits, and then we'll go to unmasking and pulling the template off. But that's looking fantastic. That looks really good. I took a step back about 5 minutes ago, and I just thought, oh, that looks really good. So now that we have that, I'll take these two pieces off, I'll peel the masking tape off, and then I'll transfer it around to the other side. So I'll get onto a time lapse doing that, and we'll cut back.
change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted.
Right, so you seen me there. Had a wee bit of messing about with this, getting it on in place. Like I said, the sticky side is facing me, so I've had to put like these pieces just to brace it, hold it into position, but I can take my marks off it. But what I'll do before I'll take my marks, but then I'll measure and make sure my marks are correct, because there's nothing worse than obviously transferring it over. I think doing it with masking tape, I would definitely recommend that you probably do it with like a sturdier material, maybe like a foam or like cardboard or something.
A few moments later.
Right, so you maybe see here I've made a couple of wee marks on my bumper, roughly whereabouts where we've got the line here, we've got a wee line here, which transfers across. I end up just putting a new piece on. I've made a mark here where I'm going to drill, a mark here and a mark here. I made two marks, that's there, it was at 45, but I went round and double checked, because this just to show you why I had to make a new template with these marks. So they'll need to remeasure these marks out, because they could all be wrong, which I think they are. That was just going off of the previous template. I think if you're going to do templates, definitely use something more sturdier than masking tape. Go for like cardboard. I'll probably, it's going to take me about 15-20 minutes there just to sort of transfer marks across. So we are from the side skirt in 49mm, not quite 50, 49, so that's that line there. And this curvature line here is literally about, I don't know, I can't remember, it's like a mil or two if I measure it again. It's hard to tell with this measuring tape because it's not exactly straight. It's 2 mil away, and that is the gap that will then create this curve. So if I get rid of this, oh, I'm throwing my screws a bit, no, I don't want to run it over any, and I set that like on that line and through that curve. Boom, perfect. Oh, sorry, just shaking. Boom, perfect. So I can make my mark here like this, if my pen was on. Oh. But you get a rough idea. Now that is perfect, 100% from the other side. Now that's the bit that would stress me out the most, is if it didn't match. So I'm going to get on to just installing the rest of it. We finish up here with the A45 finished. I'll give you a wee tour round about it, but it looks fantastic. I do like it. If I crouch down, I just give it a wee quick clean just to tidy it up a wee bit. Actually, the fact that these are gloss black and that used to be gloss black, it just sort of shows you like how the roads are in the UK. Well, that's clearly like not as glossy anymore, so maybe need to touch that up. But I think this might be the last video you see of the A45. I think I'm going to trade it in. I got offered a really good value of 18 grand trading it in. I'll show you this Corsa actually quickly while I'm hanging. It's a Corsa C. It's a Corsa C running a Astra H Z-Let, I believe it's called, is the engine of the Astra VXR. Mental. That thing shoots flames. I love that car. It's absolute bargain. I think I don't know how much you paid for it, but it's an absolute bargain in a car. These are your drive shaft, that's why it's up on the wheel now. But if you want to see some content on that, let me know. I'll maybe do a video of it. But like I said, the A45, this will probably be the last video. I got offered a really good steal at £18,000 to trade it in, and I'm at a stage where I'm going to be having to sort of sell it. On a sour note, like knowing that we need to sell this car, that's because I haven't really made the announcement. Rachel's pregnant. We are currently about 4 months pregnant, and I'm wanting a house. Like, I'm going to be a first time dad, so it's going to be mental. But the carbon fibre stuff is still going on. I'll take you around about my workshop. I have some all my glass fibre, carbon fibre stuff up here. I've got my workbench and tools over there. I've got a set of wheels to refurb for my cousin. They're still sitting there. I think I might have mentioned it in the last video. But I have this universal, if I put it up, universal front splitter. Let me know what you want to see that on. It's probably going to be a Corsa, isn't it? I think I'm going to put it on the Corsa. But if you like this video, oh Jesus, I need a wee drink. If you like this video, if you want to give us a wee like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one where well, this car might not even be here. If it is, it is. If it isn't, it isn't. But if you want to actually buy the car, contact me like soonish, because it will be going probably next week, if not the week after. I just need a bigger house, so I need the money, don't I? Life's life, isn't it? It's the best car ever, man. I'm so sad to lose it. But I used to have a Mark V Astra, so let me know what you think about a Mark V Astra VXR. I know I was saying about the Corsa's got the VXR engine, but I feel like picking up a nice standard Mark V and going from scratch again. So I'm just wondering about it. I always pace whenever I'm talking. I'll end the video here. Like and subscribe, like and follow if it's Facebook, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.